everyone, welcome back to the Cheap channel, the channel dedicated to all things cheap in the world of fragrances. And today's video is going to be very short. I just want to quickly go through a fragrance regret that I have. And we all have regrets in life. Things that we are not proud of, things that didn't meet our expectations, and we step out on a limb and fell through. In fragrance world, it can be because we blind buy something. We hear about the hype over a certain fragrance, or we look at a bottle and it looks very cool, it looks very nice, or the brand might look good. And when we go and buy it and we smell it for the first time, it just crashes our expectations and shatters any kind of faith that we had in a certain brand or in our own choosing. And even worse, sometimes we'll sample something. We'll have a sample bottle or we'll go out and smell it, and when you buy the full-size bottle and you spray it on yourself, you realize that there was a huge disconnect, that something went off the rails somewhere along the way, and it was not at all what you first experienced. This situation is of the latter. I had a sample of something that I got. It was a free sample from a fragrance company that I bought from, and they sent a sample with it. And I think they send these samples along with all their packages. I had the sample, I smelled it, I wore multiple samples of it, and it smelled incredible. I loved it. So I stepped out and bought the full-size bottle, but when I got it in, it was not at all what I was expecting. And the fragrance and brand I'm talking about is this one called Haute Ibiza. So I'm guessing Ibiza is the brand, and Haute means high life in French, is the, I guess, fragrance flanker that is from this brand. More particularly, Fragrance Net is the company that will send out samples with almost all of their shipments of this fragrance, and it'll be whether you order more feminine leaning products or masculine leaning products, be whether you get the femme or for women version of this or the homme or for man version of this. Of course, I order more men's stuff, so I got the for man version of this. And when I first got this, I was very impressed, and as you can see that the presentation is very nice. It has like a crocodile snakeskin kind of cover to it. It's not real, but it definitely has a nice texture to it. It feels quality. And then when you open it up, you have a bag on the inside, a fabric bag with a drawstring, and it has the Haute kind of logo on it here. And it is in a very nice, classy looking bag. Of course, it has silver inlay on the inside. And then when you open up the bag, you will get this right here. It's kind of almost like a Kenzo Homme kind of shaped bottle. It has like a column, but it's cut in half. It has the Haute logo on the top, and of course the actual name and everything, the same as you see on the front on there. And it has a metal kind of insert here that cuts into this cover that has I guess, coordinates like longitude and latitude. I don't know where it really brings you to. I'm guessing it brings you somewhere tropical, because it's supposed to be like a tropical kind of style with everything. And it's kind of awkward to actually take this cover off because you really don't have a good place to grab except for the metal base here. But you get it, you open it, and there's the bottle. It is a tall cylindrical bottle with that metal frame that the cover cuts over, and of course the atomizer, which is also silver, and you get the same Haute Ibiza logo that you get on the other pieces of the presentation. So when I got this, I also got the For Her version of this for my wife, because she also tried the For Her samples and she really enjoyed it. And altogether, it was around $75 to $80, because at the time, these were not on discount. They were brand new to Fragrance Net. You couldn't use the regular 20% off coupon that Fragrance Net gives you. You had to use the discount code that came with the samples. And so they were around $40 each, so $10 off, around $70 plus shipping. And so you got around like $80 or so. And I actually was considering this kind of a niche on the cheap, exclusively from Fragrance Net, because I didn't see it anywhere else. So I thought, this is pretty neat. I'm getting a niche style brand or independent brand, whichever, for a low price. So this ought to be really, really cool. So I'm not really sure what disconnect happened between the creation and distribution of the samples and then the batch and the bottle that I got here. There must have been some kind of major reformulation or something that just went wrong in the manufacturing process or whatever, because the bottle that I have in my hands smells absolutely nothing like the samples that I received before. So how this fragrance comes across is a very woody, spicy, salty, marine kind of fragrance. And actually the notes that are in this are maritime pine, frosted juniper berries, angelica root. Middle notes are artemisia, black pepper, Mediterranean cypress, and base notes are atlas cedarwood, central olibanum, and rock-cap moss. So very, very woody, dominant woods, almost 4 different kind of woods in there. And when I got the sample, that's exactly what I got, was a majority woody fragrance, not so spicy, but very fresh and very masculine and very classy. What this bottle smells like is straight up pickle juice. And I am not exaggerating when I say it smells like pickle juice. Not just the vinegar, sour kind of thing and the pickly kind of quality that people will usually associate with certain types of woods. I know like Santal 33 by Layla Beau, people say that smells like pickle juice because of the way the sandalwood comes across. And I've had other fragrances that clone that I get the same kind of quality from, but that's not what happens with this one. This straight up smells like the herbaceous saltiness in pickle juice. It is just so overwhelmingly salty, sour, and almost the dill herb kind of quality to it. Something about this is just absolutely repulsive to me. And I know that I'm coming off very strong saying that. I've had a lot of fragrances that I've gone through that I've gotten just wasn't my taste. Not that they were bad, just wasn't my taste. Maybe they just didn't perform good on me or wasn't that unique to me, and I either gave them or sold them off somewhere. I've had fragrances that I bought samples of that I thought were unique, like Secretions Magnifiques by Italie Libre d'Orange, you know, the very bloody, metallic, musky odor kind of smell. You know, it's meant to be artistic. It's meant not to be liked. But I bought that and I don't like it. I've also bought Aquillon by Scent Trunk that smells like a unwashed used water bottle that you've left sitting in the summer heat for a month, and I don't like that either. I've even had fragrances that smelled animalic, that smelled like urinal cake, that smelled very old-fashioned and retro. But even in those cases, I can somewhat see how you might be able to wear it if you were in a certain age range or certain situation, or if it just wore different on your skin. This is at all not wearable in the least. It is one of the least wearable in anything that I own or have smelled, and that's not what it's trying to be. It's trying to be something that is unique, wearable, mass appealing, and the samples definitely have that quality to them, but the full bottle smells nothing like the samples at all. Maybe if it macerates for a while and sits on the shelf that it'll get better, but it hasn't. It hasn't gotten any better. I've let other people smell this as well, and they said the exact same thing, that it smells like pickle juice, and no one liked it at all unless they like pickles. But I like to eat pickles. I like the smell of pickles if I'm gonna eat them, but I don't wanna smell like pickles. And even so, this doesn't have a wearable pickle scent. It just is way too harsh on the spices, way too harsh on the salty nature and the aquatic kind of sea salt, oceanic quality to it. And even things like Megara, which have that seaweed, sea cucumber, sour, green kind of thing, is way more wearable than this. And the thing is, when I bought this, I bought it for the full price that Fragrance Net was selling it at, which was like $40, $42, and then one was on discount because the coupon only applied to one. And now Fragrance Net is allowing it to be on that 20% off coupon, which is now $26. But even at $26, I could find a plethora of fragrances and cheapies that I would much rather wear, and that would be eons better than this one here. And usually I don't go off ranting so much, and I understand that I'm in the cheap fragrances world and not everything's gonna be the best quality, but at least the things that I get and I find and I try to filter through and really watch what I spend on what I look at. I try to at least make sure it's something that I know that I would like, and that I would at least try to sample it beforehand or watch a lot of reviews on it if it's going to be something that I'm thinking of purchasing. This one, I did sample. I did wear it. I wore different samples of it and they all smelled great, but this, again, did not smell like those samples and was a huge upset and huge disappointment as well. And the weird thing is the women's version of this is actually extremely nice. It looks just like this, except it's gold instead of silver, and it has a turquoise blue instead of this dark, deep blue. It's a very white floral, orange blossom, neroli, citric, very bright, sweet, very watery, fresh, and still aquatic as well. Has a nice sandalwood kind of soft woodiness, dry down. It is super appealing, super pleasing. It is more feminine leaning because it is for her, but if you do like that white floral kind of style, it's a very good one to pick up. Again, great quality on that one, super, super good. But again, guys, that's just my take on this. That's what I think about this one here. Maybe you have a different take on this. Maybe you have this one and it doesn't smell like that. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Are there other fragrances that you've purchased that you had the same thing happen to you, where either you blind bought it without smelling it and it was a huge disappointment, or maybe even worse, that you did sample it. You went to a store, you sprayed it on you, you had a decant, but when you bought the full bottle, it smelled nothing like what you sampled and tried out beforehand. If you have this fragrance and it smells like what I was expecting, or it smells like this and you like it, then more power to you. That's awesome. I'm glad it works on you, but for some reason, it just does not work with me. And maybe it's just me finding out my kryptonite fragrances, things that absolutely do not work with my skin or my nose, which is always nice to find out, I guess. I just hate you to find out the hard way. And hopefully, if you're thinking of purchasing this and you're looking at it, I've given you some kind of context and information to think about it, or try to sample it, or look through other reviews on this instead of just downright buying it, even though it is cheaper than what I paid for it now. So hopefully you don't mind these kind of rant videos, just unloading anything that comes to my mind that I would just want to talk about. If you like this kind of stuff, whether it's entertaining or informative anyway, let me know in the comments below. If you like it, I'll make more of these videos. If any thoughts ever come across my mind or things to talk about, I'll be sure to let you all know what I think about certain things. And if you're watching this video and this is your first time seeing the channel and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, giving some support to the channel. A lot of videos planned, a lot of things to talk about, and I'd love to have you right along with me and hopefully help you discover something new along the way. And as usual, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you for being here with me and for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.